such a low social status that you simply can't be seen in public with them and still expect to have any respect.
Time to help them try to go get go to barber shop. That's how the American barber know he not the full-blood Chinese. They say don't cut no hair. They put that way.
Civil rights movement helped the Chinese to attain certain status among the white world, more or less. Whereas we didn't have anything gained in the black world because they didn't have nothing for us to step into. Well, you know, we didn't march. If that's what you mean, why didn't we get out and march? And well, I guess the best answer is that I'm a coward.
See, my people, you know, they think the blacks shouldn't belong with Chinese people. My people want me to marry someone my own color so that, you know, we'll have our own color because of the blood. Shouldn't mix the blood up. I don't have anything against you. I don't have anything against any color. And I was raised around black people. I'm not going to turn against black people because my people told me not to. I have my own life to live.
We're considered colored, but it's considered Chinese because we're only half Chinese. My father met my mother. It was right after the slaves was emancipated in the South.
I don't think that they will marry black, my children. Personally, I think that Chinese people tend to, you're putting me on the spot.
This Chinese girl told me that she doesn't trust them. She don't like black kids. She said they don't go with her color because they think they'll steal things and they'll rob people, kidnap and all that. Yeah, push up. But I don't think like that. I just think like any colored people is my friends, just as long as they get.
I just found a gap in history, and I'm trying to understand where were the Asian and Hispanic kids during the segregation era, like when it was whites only and coloreds only, and the black people were integrating into white schools. Where were the other races of people at? Because when you look at the like history books, you only see black and white kids. Like you see an all black school and an all white school, and that's how they talk about it in the history books. Like this school's all white and this school's all black. And, you know, and I know they said colored, so you'd be like, oh, like everybody. But you never saw Asian kids at black schools. They weren't in the pictures. Or Spanish kids at black schools. So where did they go to school? And like, did they not care about integration? Like, when did they come into the equation and start integrating too? Like, why is that such a gap? Am I tripping? Maybe I'm skipping a part of it. I feel like learning history like my whole life, they've never talked about. They never talked about the integration of Asian Americans into white schools or Spanish or Hispanic people into white schools. Like, they never talked about that. So, I don't know. It's just a thought. I just crossed my mind right now, so I just thought I'd say it out loud.
So, enlighten me. What are we boycotting the Africans for? Please let me know. Quickly. Because I'm confused. What we should be boycotting is the stylists that don't include a wash in their services. That tell you to come washed and blow dried with the hair already done. They want you to come to the appointment with your hair done. That's what we should be boycotting. We should be boycotting the people that get mad when you want to come to your appointment 15 to 20 minutes early so you can be on time in the chair. Yeah. That's what we should be boycotting. I mean, I don't have a problem with going to the Africans. When I get there, there's 4 to 5 people on my head. I don't see an issue with that. What are we talking about here? Huh? No. What we should be boycotting is the stylists that are money hungry and do squeeze-ins. You're already overly booked. What are you doing a squeeze-in for? And then by the time I get in your chair, you all cranky and hangry and mad that I actually made it to my appointment on time. That's what we should be boycotting. I fear we're missing the plot here. The lights is on, but nobody's home. I'm not boycotting none of them. What? What's going on?
I'm going to say this one time and one time only. This African Americans versus African Panthers, it has to stop. This has to stop today. I'm tired of this because I'm fully African. I'm fully Nigerian, but I'm also fully American. I'm a citizen. I grew up in Montgomery, Alabama, 334. Since I was 4 years old, I've been living there, bro. Nobody can tell me I'm not American. I'm fully American. I'm a whole citizen, legal. But I'm also, like, I'm a young, but I'm also Nigerian. I grew up there till I was 4. So as somebody who's directly in the middle and both 100% Nigerian while 100% African American, this war, this propaganda, which y'all don't see that the white man is using to tear us apart, is stupid. And all y'all that are playing into it are stupid. It's so stupid. And the thing that annoys me is Africans, we be sitting back, we be minding our business, bro. We don't. Why would we talk about the people that are the originators? Black culture. That's us. We come to this country and we're given a platform, like we're given a standard and a blueprint to follow because of African Americans. We love and respect y'all. We look like y'all. So this whole fucking war is all Africans. All we do is sit back and be quiet. Notice how you look up this FBA versus African. Notice how it's all African Americans. Notice how you don't see any African saying some stupid speaking bad about African Americans, because we don't do that. But I'm gonna be the one that stands up to let y'all know that y'all are being puppets, bro. You're being controlled by a higher system. How the fuck am I arguing against it that looks just like me, bro? Okay, you want to say besides the nose and the lips, that your grandfather has, because he came directly from Nigeria, the city that I'm from, Calabar. Like, y'all need to tighten this up, bro. Y'all need, like, it's actually very fucking stupid. As in that, it's fully, again, African and also fully American, because I've been living here all my life. This is doing nothing but driving us further and further and further away.
I've been observing these videos that are like the diaspora wars. It's not a war. There's nothing about it as a war. We are simply saying who we are as a people. Black Americans. So there's nothing about that that's a war. But I have finally realized what the actual issue is. Based on the comments that I have read, right, there was one particular girl who said that I was saying, like, you know, the difference between Black Americans and Africans is very obvious. Black Americans are not immigrants. We didn't immigrate here. And a lot of us know where our great-great-grandparents are from, and so on and so forth, right? And so one of the girls says something like, do you want to be worshipped because of slavery? Do you want to be worshipped? And then I was like, bingo, I figured out what the actual problem is. From what I've gathered, the people that have an issue with Black Americans saying that we're Black Americans and not claiming being African is because they don't like the fact that despite us being stolen and sold, mistreated, all of the horrific things that have happened to Black Americans, they don't like the fact that we still rose, we're still great, we still dominate culturally across the world. They don't like that we're popular, essentially, and they don't like the fact that because we're popular, we don't attach ourselves to them. Can you believe that? And I'm not saying that's every single African. I would never say anything is every single person, because that's just not a thing. But I realize that that's the root of the issue. That is exactly what the root of the issue is, because they don't do this to anybody in the Caribbean. They don't say, oh, you need to call yourself African Jamaican. You need to call yourself African Haitian. They don't do that. They don't do that. They only have beef with us. And I think it's because of our history and what we have created here, and the fact that we are proud of who we are. They don't like that we went through so much trauma, but we are still proud of who we are as a people. And I think that is the root of the issue. And as soon as I mentioned the fact that if it wasn't for Black Americans, Africans, Caribbean, all of these immigrants would not even be here because of the civil rights movement, I got blocked. So when you say the truth and you make them acknowledge our value and the fact that we do have culture and we have major influence and we are the reason that they're able to be in this country and make money and send money back home and build, don't get me started. They block me. So that's definitely the root of the issue. They don't like how great we are. And guess what? Get over it or get with it. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you, because all we're asking for from the people of the diaspora is respect. Respect.
All right, so normally I would focus on one video or maybe a few, so we're going to do it that way. So the first video that I'm going to add a little bit more information to was the video of the young woman asking where were the Hispanics and the Asians. Not too long ago, I covered a video specifically detailing the fact that the elders of the Hispanic community during that time were part of a documentary, and they said themselves that they were within the white schools. They were using white water fountains. They were walking on the white sides of the towns or what have you, right? So that answers where the Hispanics directly were during that time, and maybe dealing with some of their own issues as well too, if they were darker complected. So over to the young man, the African male, and what he stated. Let me just touch on this information. Yes, Calabar was a significant part of the transatlantic slave trade. From the 17th to the 19th century, it served as a majority port where millions of enslaved Africans were sold and transported to the Americas. European traders, particularly from Britain, relied heavily on Calabar as a key embarkation point for enslaved people. More details. Calabar is located in present-day Cross River State, Nigeria, was one of the most important slave trading ports in West Africa. So what did we just learn here, folks? We just learned that Nigerians, again, all the Nigerians, they say that they are one, that they are a group, that they are a tribe. All of these folks that come directly over here want to talk negatively and have something to say about Black Americans are more than likely a part of the greater majority who helped to put us all directly over here. Again, I'm just going by the books, the out of Africa theory and all that stuff, right? So again, historically speaking, Nigerians are the main causation, or a major part of the main causation of why it is that you have Africans coming from Africa going over, because they were a major port. It's stated directly in black and white that the Europeans heavily depended directly on the Nigerians. And these are the same folks coming to the United States deciding that they want to speak harshly on Black Americans. Matter of fact, one of their own representatives, one of their own children, decided to get online while living in America, while trying to, speak Black American, right? I grew up here. I'm a YN. I'm this, that. No, you're not. You're just African. You're just African. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, it's like, this is what I happen to tell a lot of people of why it is that I have an issue with a lot of the Africans that want to come directly over here. Because in one instance, you guys say that, oh, we're African, we're proud, and we have this culture, this rich this and rich that. We got these foods and religion. What do you Black Americans have, right? Y'all want to say all of that, and then you come directly over here. You're not bringing that same bravado. You're not bringing that same confidence. You're not talking with your chest out. You're not even wearing your natural clothes that you would be wearing directly over there in Africa. You come over here and you dress like us. You talk like us. You go to the same schools. I'm talking about elementary, middle, high school. You go to the same schools as we do. And in some instances, you may even go to the same colleges. But then as you want to cosplay, the moment of time that you just so happen to make it, you go to be a doctor, maybe a lawyer, you may start up a business, whatever it is. Now you want to sit up there and start waving your flag. Now you want to show up with that bravado. Now you want to show up and you want to, try to have some Nigerian or whatever suits on and all this. I'm like, dog, you should have been doing that from the beginning. If you are really as proud as you say that you are of being African, of being Nigerian, you should be repping that all the way through. Nobody should be able to say that, oh, yeah, you look like a Black. No. Everybody should know that you're clearly Nigerian, but y'all don't do that. Because as y'all stated, y'all don't want to stick out like a sore thumb. Y'all don't want to cause issues with the system of which white people have created. Y'all will do everything possible to abide by their rules just so you can get a little nugget, a little bit of something. As long as you can get a little bit more than what Black Americans are able to get, oh, y'all fine. Y'all golden. Y'all don't got no problem with nothing because it ain't affecting you. As y'all like to sit up there and say, again, there was an African woman who specifically spoke with the exact same convictions, with the exact same tone, with the exact same belief, while saying at the same time that Black Americans are the problem because, and the reason why Black Americans can't, make it in an American society when they can is because we don't let go of the past, because we want to be resistant, is because we want to fight back. So I want people to understand what a lot of these Africans tend to say is that they don't fight back. They just lay down and let everything roll over, and then they'll just see what it is that they can pick up, and then they'll just carry on and gather those things up until it becomes a gold mound. While Black Americans will stand upright, back straight, 10 toes down, and will sit up there and fight. See how when people want to fight for something that they deserve, is looked down upon. But then when other people want to sit up there and just come see what they can get and cower in fear, that's something to be proud of. That's some crazy work. And that also leads me to the point of view of why it is that a lot of the African nations are in the situations of which they are, because too many people decide to sit idly by and navigate the waters ultra cautious. In some instances, don't even put their toes directly in the water because of whatever fears are directly there. But the moment in time that a white man shows up with a boat, you're like, oh, let me jump in there, Mr. White Man. Yeah, I just need to sit up there and go, here, do you need anything from me? Here, take my kids. Here, take my wife. Here, take my grandparents. Here, take my land. In exchange, he gives you 50 cents. And you're like, okay, Mr. White Man, thank you for that. I'm glad I was able to get something from nothing. That's some crazy work. Diabolical in nature. And as I stated before, whenever it is that a lot of these people come directly over here, like as people are able to hear, if you look at the Africans, they'll tell you that they are African. He said that he is Nigerian. He had the math directly on that wrong. He was like, I'm 100% Nigerian and I'm 100% African American. Calm that down. You didn't even understand, even know about that terminology. That terminology is older, way more older than you. I can promise you that. That dude is probably just now reaching 20. He don't know nothing about nothing. And this is why he's getting directly on TikTok, and he wants to have this one-sided type of thing. But like, oh, look at how, you know, this whole war, this whole argument, notice how it's one-sided. Notice how the Africans are just sitting back and not saying nothing. But look, who the people that's actually sitting up and saying something? It's the Black Americans. Man, if you don't, like I said before, this is why we got a problem with a lot of y'all. Y'all never see what it is that y'all do wrong. Y'all never understand the fact that your people are out here poking and prodding at a dragon. You don't need to do that. Like I said, there was clear cut. I just gave you guys earlier today in the morning, gave you guys a video of an African woman who was in the medical field saying that she was going to send a line to other Africans and Caribbeans and others, so that they in the medical field who are immigrants do not give medical care to Black Americans. And he's up here trying to make it seem like I ain't never in my life heard a Black American doctor or nurse talking about, I'm about to make some calls to my people because we don't like the immigrants and we're going to make sure not to sit up there and help y'all because y'all feel a certain type of way about. We would never do that because we understand what it's like because of segregation in the history to not get medical treatment that you're deserving of, to not get life-saving treatment that you need. We would never sit up there and do that. But like I said, y'all don't know nothing like that because you're African, because you're coming from a whole nother place, a whole nother understanding. Y'all ain't had to deal with that because you only had your own people to deal with. Literally, all of your doctors in Nigeria look like you. Everybody in the medical field look like you. So what would a Nigerian look like talking to another Nigerian talking about, oh, because you feel a certain type of way being Nigerian about Nigerians, I'm not going to sit up there and give you medical. You know, do you understand how stupid that would be? Again, so you don't know what that's like. It's not going to sit up there and happen to you. The only people that actually know what that's like over there in Africa, realistically, would be the Africans in South Africa. Those will be the only people that would actually know what it's like not to get medical treatment that they're deserving of, or life-saving treatment that they're deserving of, that they need. Those are realistically out of that continent really would be the main people, historically speaking. Not saying that there's not others directly out there, but I'm just saying, going from memory, going from recent history, those would be the main people. Like I said, this is why we have a problem with a lot of Africans directly out here, because y'all don't have the history, right? Y'all are far removed because y'all ain't never been here. Y'all ain't never been here. So you don't have the history. You don't know what it's like to actually deal with this government, to combat, to fight this government, to have to be resistant against this government, which has always told you that you are undeserving, has always told you that they don't want you here, has always told you that you need to go back from whence you came, but yet we didn't ask to be here. Or if we're to go by the other information out here, we were always here. And it was just the reverse. We had a surplus of Black Americans here and they decided to send them other places. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. That's up for, you know, everybody else to sit up there and look at. You know, up is down and down is up and left is right and right is left. But, you know, like I said before, there's a lot of information out there of which people have to come to their own conclusions directly on when it deals with, you know, a lot of those things. But the ending result is this. A lot of you Africans out here never want to hold your people accountable for their actions. You always want to lollygag. You want to sit up there and hold their hand. You want to body block. You want to do scapegoats. You want to move the goalposts. You will do everything else but hold your people accountable for the things that they specifically state to black people. How it is that they specifically come at and talk to black people, meaning black Americans. It's crazy. I see it all the time online. Y'all are always talking about, oh, black Americans this, black Americans that. It's to the point where you got those who are in America, who came from Africa, who fled, right? Speaking. You got those that are in the mainland of the motherland, right? Just there, the dark continent, as they used to say, right? Talking. And then you got the other fleers that came from Africa and went to the United Kingdom. Talking. I'm like, wow. I'm like, that's crazy. Y'all are so ungrateful. Y'all are so ungrateful. And again, y'all wonder why it is that black Americans feel the way that it is that they feel at the end of the day. Y'all wonder why. But like I said, if you guys want to continue doing this and you don't want to take accountability, responsibility, or acknowledgement for the part that you play in the causation and how it is that you're pretty much leading and egging this whole thing on and watching this idly take by, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Like I said, y'all don't understand. Black America is at the point where everything can burn and we'll be fine. We've always had to be fine. Y'all don't know what that's like because, again, y'all ain't really been here to actually go through that, to actually witness that, to actually have history and elders speak directly on it. Y'all were over there yonder, over there in Africa doing whatever y'all was sitting up there doing and wherever y'all came from. Like I said, y'all don't actually got a history here because y'all just got here. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.